The astral body excerpt from flowering of consciousness. The astral body goes from womb to womb and from grave to grave. You have to understand that the witness is pure consciousness. It remains unaffected by the body and mind. However, it takes temporary residence in as well. So first you have to understand how do personality traits and conditioning persist from one life to another. And secondly, you have to understand that which makes us a unique individual have a continuum. Therefore, the first you have to understand that you have not only this body of flesh, bones and blood, not only this brain which is part of the body, behind the brain you have a mind which is abstract. Not only that, behind the body you have an astral body. The word astral comes from stars. It means a light. Instead of flesh or bones, astral body is made of light. This body of light, the astral body, has a mind in it as well. When you die, your physical body and your physical mind are left behind. But the astral body travels with you, with the mind, with all the remembrance of the past and the body, remembering all the scars and the wounds that have happened to the physical body. This abstract phenomena travels with you, and hiding within it is your ultimate existential center. Until you know the center, you have reached to the center, you will have to travel continuously from one body to another. The moment you have discovered your center, then this traveling, this movement from body to body comes to a cessation. This is what we call is salvation or moksha, or a state of Buddhahood. You have been traveling already for thousands of lives, gathering more and more memories in your astral mind, more and more memories in your astral body. This is why when somebody gets angry, we grind our teeth, because teeth has stored all that has happened to you from the time of your animal state. We naturally grind our teeth. Although your center is unaffected, you have been traveling already for thousands of lives, gathering more and more memories in your astral mind, more and more memories in your astral body. Although your center is unaffected, it is surrounded by the astral body, the light body. And the astral body goes from womb to womb and from grave to grave. That is your individuality. Indeed, it has a continuum, but the continuum comes to an end when you become a Buddha. This continuum of the astral body moving from womb to womb, from grave to grave, comes to a cessation the moment you become a Buddha, you become enlightened. When you penetrate deeply to the center, you are also cutting the astral body apart and then making a way through the mind, beyond the mind, through the astral body and beyond the astral body to the center of your being. All these are obstructions to reach to your being. Once you have reached to the center of your being, the continuum of your individuality comes to a cessation. Now begins the universal existence. You will not enter into another womb again, and you will not be burnt on another funeral pyre or cremated again. Now you will be one with the whole. Of course, everything has a cost. You will have to drop your long-cherished love of individuality. Millions of years you have loved your individuality, but your individuality at the final stage becomes a hindrance. You have to drop that as well. Now take a jump out of the continuum and become one with the whole. This is what Buddhahood is. The drop merges into the ocean and it becomes one with the whole. You will disappear like a dew drop in the ocean, but it is the ultimate bliss. It is the most profound ecstasy to become the oceanic, to become cosmic. The moment drop merges into the ocean, in a way it loses its identity, it loses its individuality, but then it becomes cosmic, it becomes oceanic. This is the process of Buddhahood. This is the first shore. The drop becomes the ocean. When drop becomes the ocean, then the other shore comes. First drop merges into the ocean, loses its individuality, and then ocean lets its oceanic nature to the drop. The drop becomes ocean. But your so-called human mind will not understand if I say I am God. If drop says I am ocean, you cannot visualize it how a drop can be ocean. Drop is such a small thing and ocean is so vast. It is here you have to understand the drop and ocean are different quantitatively, but qualitatively they are same. The moment drop merges into ocean, the ocean lets its oceanic qualities to the drop. The drop becomes oceanic. The same quality that is of the ocean is contained in the drop as well. Whatsoever is the quality of consciousness, the ultimate consciousness, what you may call as God or the light or whatsoever, becomes your very essence, your very presence, your very existence. You become cosmic. You will disappear just as dew drop in the ocean, but it is the ultimate bliss. It is the most profound ecstasy to become the oceanic, to become the cosmic. You will never repent that you have lost your individuality. What was in your individuality? Have you ever thought your individuality was a light prism which carried you from one womb to another, passing through the grave? You enter one womb, then you enter another womb, but in order to enter another womb you have to pass through the grave. And repeating the same process again and again, the life continues. That is why in the East they call it the life and death cycle. It goes on a cycle. You enter the womb, you come into life, life comes to an end, you pass through the grave, and you enter another womb. This is a cycle of birth and death, and man remains continuously engrossed in this cycle of birth and death. To jump out of this cycle is the whole purpose of meditation, and to come out of this continuum, which has been just a deep anguish, anxiety and fear, and disappear into the blue sky. This disappearance is not your death. This disappearance makes you one with the whole. The moment dewdrop merges in the ocean, it is death in one way, but in another way, it is resurrection. This is why Sufis use two words, fana and baka. In the first instance, dewdrop merges into the ocean, it is called fana. And when ocean lends magnanimity, its qualities, its oceanic nature to the dewdrop, it is termed as baka in Sufi terminology. This disappearance, therefore, is not your death. This disappearance makes you one with the whole. And to be one with the whole is the greatest joy and the greatest blissfulness. Nothing is more significant, full of splendor, and more majestic. Here all the Buddhas have disappeared in the ultimate eternity of existence. It is freedom from individuality, freedom from yourself. You cannot imagine this joy. One who lives in that, one who has attained to this oceanic nature, only he knows. He lives amidst the thorn, but his nature is of flowering, of beauty, of fragrance. You have known freedom from others, but you have never recognized that you are still a slave of your own individuality. It is a cage. It does not matter. It may be golden. Open the cage and fly across the sun into the blue sky and disappear without leaving any footprints, any trace behind. This Gautam Buddha used to call anatta, non-self. No self, no mind, no you, and no I. Naqshbandi Sheikh Lalaji used to say, doing the work of the masters dissolved in the existence, leaving no footprints, as if no one with such a name ever existed. This in fact can be said in another way. I have told you about Kabir. When he was young, he became enlightened. He wrote a small couplet in which comes the line, "The drop has disappeared in the ocean." When he was dying, he called his son Kamal and told him to change that line. Kamal said, "It is so beautiful, the drop has disappeared in the ocean. Why are you changing it, and what is the substitute?" Kabir says, "These are my last breath. Do not argue. Simply do as I am saying." You write instead, "The ocean has disappeared in the dewdrop." The ocean has disappeared in the dewdrop. That was my first impression. That was my first experience, the beginning. And this is the last impression, the ultimate. And he is said to have closed his eyes by saying, "The ocean has disappeared in the dewdrop. Baka has happened." The ocean has lent its oceanic quality, oceanic nature to it. It is at this stage of consciousness, Jesus is God, Buddha is God. But when you say it, or Osho says it, the infeeble mind, the lesser mind, without knowing, condemns this, that this man is claiming himself to be God. But both the impressions are beautiful. In the beginning, of course, you will see the dewdrop is disappearing in the ocean. But finally you will realize the ocean has disappeared in the dewdrop. The cycle of birth and death, the cycle of journey from womb to womb via tomb has come to cessation. You have jumped out of this cycle, this quagmire, this life and death.